That's just the kind of person I am. This is who I am, and you have to accept me how I am. Too bad. You should love me as I am. Why can't you love me as I am? These are all phrases that my ex-husband has shouted at me during conversations where I was crying and begging for love and affection. And he only told me that I had to love him as he was. Now, today, we are going to throw my ex under the bus a little bit, but it's been a while, and only because Jay has taught me how to get over this. So I no longer want to be loved how I am today only. Okay, so I threw him under the bus I never did it, but I did it too, all the time. Jay and I fought for the first, I think, 4 years of our relationship, and I kept saying, why can't you just love me as I am today? And while today I'm a great person, I'm wonderful, I'm lovely, but I can always improve. So, Jay, why did my ex-husband and I have this horrible phrase that we would throw out to the people that we love, demanding to be loved just the way we are because we couldn't change or help it?
Probably because y'all clueless about the universe and how life works.
Clueless about the universe and how life works. All right. Well, I mean, I know now, but can you please give us some further explanation? Because please. Thank you.
Sure. Do you know any human being who loves every single other human being?
No.
Do you love every single other human being?
I really want to, but no.
Right. So that means that as you move through the world, there's a high chance you're going to bump into somebody who you don't love.
Yeah, fair play.
And that person probably won't feel loved by you. And they could say to your face or behind your back to their family and friends, why can't Sin just love me as I am? Right?
Right.
And you would think they're crazy. You'd be like, what? Like, I don't have to love you as you are. You're like one of my most hated people. I don't want to be around you. I don't like you. You're a murderer and I hate murderers. So yada, yada, yada.
Right.
But they're sitting there talking to their friends and family thinking, why can't she just love me as I am?
I mean, he's a murderer. Why would anyone love someone like that?
Oh, so murderers don't deserve love or have loving families or?
No. Okay. Yes, they deserve that stuff too, I suppose. But
what about cavemen or people in war times, soldiers?
Yeah. Okay. Fair play.
Like, this isn't about judging people. I'm just saying every human being is going to bump into somebody somewhere that they don't love. And that person rightfully could say to them, why don't you just love me as I am?
Yeah. Yeah. True.
Meanwhile, you're there thinking, why don't you change?
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Right. But this is a universal condition. You just said, I can't find a single human who loves everyone.
No, I don't think there's anyone who loves everyone.
And I don't even think there's that many people who love the majority.
Agreed. I think the amount of people that others love is a very small circle.
There you go. So there's all these people running around that you don't love as they are, and they could all rightfully say, why don't you just love me as I am?
Yeah, true. They could.
So it's like a silly phrase. Like, it makes no sense. The world's not out there existing to love you as you are, and you don't love the world as it is, and you don't love all of humanity the way humanity is. So how can you expect this from anyone? Like, it's so clueless. It's just a clueless phrase.
Right.
Like, it just screams, I don't understand love. I don't understand humanity. I don't understand human interaction or growth or how things work. You know what I mean? Like, it kind of screams, I don't even understand myself, because ourselves don't love everyone as they are.
True. But if it's somebody that you already love and there's like...
Well, this is another misunderstanding. This is even more cluelessness, because what even is love? I could find a kid down the street who says, I love my crush, my kindergarten crush.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do they love their kindergarten crush, or are they going to abandon them in 2 seconds and find some new thing?
I mean, it's possible.
Have you met anyone who loves their kindergarten crush for real?
No, I meant it's possible for them to go and just whatever.
Possible. It's almost certain.
Yeah, of course. I don't love my kindergarten crush.
When I ask these questions, are you actually hearing what I'm asking and thinking?
Yes.
Okay, so when I say I could go find some kindergartner who screams and swears that they love their kindergarten crush, are we all to believe that they love their kindergarten crush?
No, it's what their version of love is.
Yeah, and most adults are just grown children running around with no clue what love is. So they're going to say, well, this person's told me they loved me. Why can't they love me as I am? And it's like, you're clueless about so many things, and you don't even know what love is, and you're acting like a kindergartner. And then You don't know what change and growth are or how they work or what they do. We're here on earth to evolve and change. I can't love you as you are because I'm expecting you to grow.
Yeah.
Hello? Grow? Grow?
Yes.
It's a thing that people do. I think all the souls on the planet came here to do that.
Yeah, but
grow, the animals grow and humans grow.
Yes.
So if you're going to plateau instead of grow, I'm going to get annoyed and I won't be so loving because I wasn't put here to love all the stagnant plateauers who don't grow.
That's true. I think there's a vast majority of people, though, that don't understand that we humans are not here to Netflix and chill and die like a plant, like a house plant.
How cool is that? If you think humans came to Earth to Netflix and chill, be loved as you are, and avoid growth for 80 years and then die, like what are you thinking?
Well,
when your partner is getting annoyed and is like, man, step up and grow and do something better and stop being as you are, like it could be from some weird narcissistic place, but what are the chances? Like maybe they just want you to grow and they can see what's the best for you and they know you're resisting it and they're annoyed. Like maybe you knew your ex could start his own business and succeed and thrive, and so you're trying to nudge him towards that. Maybe he knew you could lose way more weight and look way hotter and he's trying to nudge you towards that, and both of you resent each other. How dare you push me towards that? Why can't you just love me as I am? It's like, don't you get it? Human relationships are to spark and inspire growth in you. Your partner would be useless if they weren't pushing you towards growth, nudging you towards growth, calling you towards growth, inspiring you towards growth, supporting you in growth. And they would also be a useless partner if they sit around like tolerating your plateaus for 20, 40, 50, 60 years until they're fed up and then you both die. Like that's also not a helpful partner. So is it really narcissistic people who try to control you and are trying to control you and change you and mold you? Or is it natural human evolution and growth and your partner's hoping to see you reach the next phase of your life?
So it's natural evolution and growth. And when I was married to him, we were fine. There was a long time in our relationship where I was fine not growing too. We were two potatoes that just did nothing and grew nothing and didn't understand why we were miserable, right? And so one day I found people like you talking about growth and happiness and like how I could feel better, and like growth would make me feel better, and like not being a potato anymore would feel better, and doing some things for other people would feel better. And once I like realized that, and I said to him, look, well, because maybe, I didn't know, maybe he didn't know, like I had nobody to tell me these things. So maybe he needed help too. And so when I showed him what non-potato life could look like, that there was never, it was sticking to, this is who I am. This is how I am. I had 3 dreams in my life and I completed them and I'm good. Like this, so I'm so close to that. And that's why I said it, right? Because I was that person who was clueless about growth and life and this beautiful, beautiful world that you have shown me, that you have opened me up to. I was like a closed little tight clam on that one. I had no idea. So that's why I bring it up. And yeah, I understand for you, that's like so weird because you've always been about rising and growth since birth. Right. But I wasn't. And I was so far away from it. And now I'm so happy that you've helped me with this. And I'm so grateful. So you like being the epitome of change, and me being with like before the dark hole of not moving or doing anything, the spectrum of love, right? You talked about love too. And I guess you have to love yourself too to want to change and do the things, right?
Well, that's the only time you can be loved as you are. The only time you can expect it anyways. You might find it from someone else. Someone else might love you as you are. Great. But you should love you as you are. That's always available. So when someone doesn't love you as you are, you either change and take it as a sign to change, a sign that you haven't been growing, and nobody loves stagnation and plateau and anti-growth. So you should probably grow, or you take it as a sign to start loving yourself more and love yourself as you are and set some boundaries and go find people who do love you as you are. Because if you loved yourself, you wouldn't stick with someone who doesn't love you the way you prefer. Why would you? There's 8 billion people on the planet. Why are you sticking with someone who doesn't love you the way you want to be loved, or the way you need to be loved, or the way that's going to serve you, or the way that you are? Like, where's the lack of love? Is it the other person, or is it you tolerating people treating you this way?
Oh, as you tolerating it. I tolerated the no growth for a million years until I found you and found what love really means.
Sure, but can good things come to you? Like, are you loving yourself by sticking around and tolerating that?
No.
So if you don't love yourself enough to move away from these people, what kind of people are you going to attract? Like, you don't love yourself, so you're going to attract people who
love me.
Yeah, don't love you as you are.
Yeah.
So
okay.
A lot of the time when you find yourself saying to others, why don't you love me as I am? It's like a projection. It's like a reflection, a mirror. It's the universe saying to you from the outside, you don't love yourself as you are. And if you did love yourself, you would set boundaries and walk away from these people. But since you don't, I'm going to keep delivering them. And you'll find another person who doesn't love you as you are, and another person who doesn't love you as you are, and another person who doesn't love you as you are, until you put your foot down, you learn the pattern and break it, and you love yourself enough to move away from these people. And then you will attract a tribe of people who love you as you are, because you love yourself enough to stand up. Most people would rather put up with unloving people than be alone. And it's like, this is a weird message to the universe. This is super weird karma. Why would you send the message, I'd rather put up with bullshit than be alone? Because if you say that, then the universe is like, fine, I'll surround you with bullshit. But if you're a baller, if you're a rebel, if you're like, you know what, I'd rather be alone than put up with this bullshit, then the universe is like, all right, well, now you're going to be alone for a while, but I'll never surround you with bullshit again. And so the next people you find will be good. They'll respect you and your boundaries, and they'll love you as you are, or at least more so.
Well, I guess that's what happened with us. I decided I wasn't going to accept that anymore, and I wasn't going to be around some people who didn't want me or didn't love me the way I needed. After 15 years, you had plenty of time to show me that you love me. I mean, I also had plenty of time to change and grow and be a better person, but then the universe brought you into my life.
Yeah, but I had to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, am I going to tolerate bad partners forever, or I'm going to step up and set my boundaries and walk away? Like, only if you're willing to do that can you be open to finding your true tribe. Otherwise, you're surrounded by a fake tribe forever, because you don't love yourself enough to set boundaries and walk away. So then the people you attract don't love you either.
Yeah, it feels almost abusive.
It's self-abusive.
Yeah,
if you tolerate that kind of stuff.
Well, I mean, it is self-abusive, but it's also abusive to say to somebody else, I'm this horrible person, or I have this thing that I don't want to change. And I demand that you, because you're my partner, you're my husband, you took vows to be with me and committed to me. Now you have to accept this horrible thing about myself.
Yeah, well, vows are another joke anyways. If they ever include forever or under all conditions or something like this is absurd. No one can predict the future. No one knows what we're going to go through. Like, you could get brainwashed or something, or there could be like some torture chamber, and it's like, why didn't you stick with me? It's like, dude, it wasn't, till torture do us part. Like, what? Well, you're not dead. You should have kept your vows. Like, it's like, what kind of vow is this? A boss can't promise an employee they'll be employed forever. A company can't promise the community it'll be around forever. Like, you can't even promise a child you'll be around forever. Like, you don't know what's going to happen. And so now we have some vow where you promise that you'll stick with someone no matter how little they grow, how stagnant they are, how bitchy they are, how plateaued they are.
But that's the thing, they don't put it.
Vow is that?
Right. But they put like in sickness and in health. But what they should really say is, if they feel this way, like, I want you to, no matter how miserable and terrible I am, that you still love me anyway.
Well, that's the secret implication of the vows.
Yes.
But
yes. Like, this is why ours is different.
Sure. But think about that. Like, think about saying that out loud to someone.
Yeah.
I'll stick with you no matter how horrible a human being you turn into.
No.
I'll stick with you no matter how little you take care of yourself, how big you blimp up, how decrepit you get, how much you smoke yourself to death, how much you drink yourself to death. I married you. So, like, what?
But see, it's very interesting that you bring up those things, all those things you just mentioned, because most people would say, no, ew, I would never stay with someone that was like that. Or I find out they're an abusive sex criminal or whatever. They won't state. But when it comes to these little things, these smaller, in quotes, very much in quotes, smaller little things like, I'm not going to take out the trash because you asked me to. I'm not gonna show you affection, even though you're so affectionate to me and nurturing and loving. No. Like these things, people see them as, I can't leave or I can't complain, or these are just silly things. So I'm just going to argue about it. They're going to pretend they're changing, but they're not going to. We both know it.
Yeah. So I guess if you want to sign up for 10 years of convincing and arguing over bullshit, then go ahead. But yeah, to me, that's not loving yourself. And so if you don't love yourself as you are enough to set boundaries and walk away, then you're going to attract people who don't love you as you are either.
Okay. See, this is another episode where you zigged when I thought you were going to zag. When the start of this, if someone had said to me, like, what are you guys going to talk about? I would never have said, we're going to talk about self-love. Like, this whole topic is self-love because that's the root of this.
That's because the people outside us are reflections of us.
Ugh. Are you saying that in a devil way? Or are you saying it in a smart, because we all project whatever's inside onto other people way?
They're the same thing.
Oh, damn it. Okay. Now okay? I thought you were going to zig, you zagged, and now you just totally zogged over here. What? Okay, I need, one second. I'm just going to take a deep breath for a moment. It's okay. I don't know what the heck is going on. Please enlighten me, my dearest, because I really need to understand what you just said.
Sure. Do you agree that we're all on earth to grow?
Yes, we are.
Like maybe we're on earth to be happy or be free or some other thing, but there's a growth component.
But growth brings happiness, yes.
Yeah, it's hard to find someone who's not growing, who is fulfilled or happy or free or whatever.
Who isn't?
Yeah. So if we're all on earth to grow, then life, Mother Nature, has to provide some conditions to grow.
Right.
For the plants, it provides soil and sunlight and water. For animals, it provides plants. For people, it provides all sorts of stuff. But would growth occur if everyone was a hermit with no other people around? If you imagine everyone on their own separate land or their own separate planet, maybe, and it's just them and there's no other people around.
No, because I know what you're going to say. No. Yes. We can't grow if we don't see it in other people. Like if we don't have a mirror, right?
Sure. Like I said, the plants get soil and sunlight and water, and the animals get plants.
Yes.
And maybe the pack,
right?
Or the nest or whatever.
Right.
And people get all kinds of things. But one of the main components of growth for people is what?
Other people.
Yeah. If life took away other people, what happens to humanity's growth?
It stops.
Yeah. And is life going to tolerate that? Is life big on stopping growth?
Nope.
Yeah. Life and nature and the universe knows how to set up growth. Very good at it. Expansion and growth.
Even under concrete, the trees will break through. Yes.
Yeah. Or people put in prisons, they still find a way to grow.
Yes.
And they come out better. I mean, they don't all. Some people choose not to grow, but their purpose is growth, and they will feel fulfilled if they do grow. And the universe is doing its best to provide conditions for growth, whether you believe it or not. My homeless years, many people would say that's not a condition for growth. I think it was the best condition for growth. It was amazing.
Yeah, same with the heroin. Yeah.
Like it was a nightmare at the time, but look at all the growth I got out of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So an abusive relationship or someone who doesn't love me as I am or any number of these things, what is their actual purpose? Like, is their purpose just to annoy us? That's it? It's to make life miserable? I guess that's why this is happening, because life hates me and just wants to annoy me. Yeah, man, that was nature's plan all along. You've zeroed in on it. You're a brain genius. Go, let's call the newspapers. You have figured out why you have shit relationships.
You know,
annoy you.
But no. I was that dummy. I was that arrogant butthole that thought that the universe, God, whatever, liked when I failed, that they would sit up there and laugh at me because of how miserable I was.
Sure. And then you got Helen Keller and Anne Frank and Nick Vujicic with like no limbs and deaf and blind and mute. And,
it's embarrassing.
Attacked by Nazis or whatever. And it's like they're happy and they see the beauty in life and they know that everything is not out to annoy them.
Yep.
Come on, man. It's so obvious if you just take a step back, get a little broader perspective and look at life, look at the universe, look at how everything operates together, look at the ecosystems and evolution and how all of this has been going on for so long, so flawlessly. Like just look at how the universe works, and you will see life provides the conditions for growth. And one of the conditions for growth for us, for people, is interactions with other human beings, and not necessarily pleasant ones. That was never on the menu. It was never like, oh, I know, I'll just make everyone perfectly nice and everyone cooperate perfectly with everyone else, and all 8 billion people will be operating in perfect harmony, and that will provide a great condition for growth. I'm sure they'll all learn and grow and blossom. It was like, nah, man, growth needs challenges. Growth needs a journey. So I'm going to give them some challenges and a journey. And I'm not going to give them every perfect human, but every unpleasant human is going to be an opportunity for growth. If they can break the pattern, if they can see what's up, if they can apply themselves and see through this person, see through to the real truth of things. And the truth of things is that for most people, you're tolerating a bullshit relationship and bullshit behavior. And until you love yourself enough to stand up and set a boundary and leave to go be alone or find other human beings, you will keep attracting people who do not love you as you are, because you don't love you as you are. So like I said, they're all reflections of us.
That's a clip right there, right? So that's incredible, really, because I would never have guessed you were going there. For me, it was definitely about I didn't love myself as I am. And this is something I've gone back and forth with in my mind, right? Over I'm supposed to love myself as I am, but I want to be a better person. I want to change and I want to grow.
Well, it's both. If you love yourself as you are you going to tolerate yourself not growing?
Absolutely not.
Are you going to tolerate yourself plateauing?
No.
You're going to break the plateaus and you're going to keep growing. So
yes.
Anyone who tells me that they love themselves as they are, they better damn well mean they're going to be better tomorrow, because it's not loving to yourself to celebrate and tolerate and allow this lack of growth, this stagnation and this degradation and this devolvement. You have to evolve and grow and blossom if you really do love yourself. So saying I love myself is also saying, and I'm going to change, watch out.
Yes.
But no one, like most people don't mean that. Most people, when they say I love myself as I am, mean I don't want to change and I'm not going to change. And I'm like, well, then you don't really love yourself.
Okay. So now we come back to, I think what I was trying to say earlier when I was stumbling and got distracted. That's the thing. So most people say they don't have to, like, I love myself how I am. And my ex would say, my ex would say this, I love myself how I am. I'm great how I am. I'm this, and this. But they ignore the 50 things behind the this, and this that really need to change and really need to grow and really would improve. But when they say, I love myself as I am and I'm good, it's because they don't want to change. 1, they don't see what they have to change. 2, or 3, they're using it as an excuse. I love myself as I am, like the whole fat body positivity movement. I love myself as I am because if I love myself at 200 pounds, then I don't have to go through the hassle of doing Chloe and working out and like not eating unhealthy food. And so it's just an excuse.
Yeah, I mean, it's a common occurrence. But Adele, I'm assuming, loved herself as she is, and she was quite big. And now she lost a lot of weight, so she still grew. She still changed. She was always on it. It was always part of the plan. Like,
one of the things that I say whenever I see people talking about their weight loss or their drug addiction, like their clean time or their weight loss time or their weight, I always say, oh, congratulations for loving yourself enough to change. And it's funny because even though I say that to people all the time, I didn't even connect this together.
Yeah. And I mean, it doesn't apply across the board.
No.
If you're a sumo wrestler, maybe loving yourself enough to change is to actually put on more weight.
Yeah.
But my point isn't that I know what everyone should do. That's ridiculous.
Right.
My point is everyone's honor is to grow. And if you love yourself, then you will embrace growth of various kinds. And you will continue that growth until life is over. And if you just claim to love yourself, then you'll use it as an excuse to not grow and to embrace your plateaus and get everybody off your back as you stagnate.
Yeah, that's another clip. Yeah, 100%. And the times in my life that I have backslid on my growth and my evolving myself or transformation, it's because I stopped loving myself the same way. Mm-hmm. I got here and got to Florida, and I'm like, I was really in the beginning, like very diligent about my diet, and everyone around me eats horrible here. And little by little, I started to feel bad about myself because I can't eat those things. I want those things. I have to, like, all these horrible things. I don't want to get into all the things I said, but like not nice things. And so my growth in that area backslid, and of course, because I stopped loving myself. And then the more, like, every Diet Coke I drank or every sweet thing I ate, it added to the lack of love for myself.
Yeah. And then that lack of love in you, if you keep it up, starts to be contagious to everyone else. Like, you keep it up for a month or 2 or 6, and soon you're way bigger and way less healthy. And now your partner doesn't like you as much. They don't love you as you are anymore. And it's like, but why would they, dude? You haven't been loving yourself for the last 6 months. What do you think is going to be reflected in other people? What do you think the universe is going to deliver to you? What are you going to attract with that kind of behavior, that kind of attitude towards your own self and your own body and your own goals? If you backslide like that, then your relationship's going to backslide right away from you too. And people will blame the guy, but the people who do that are clueless. Like, they simply do not understand how life and the universe and relationships work. And they think that a good partner just magically tolerates constant degradation and devolution and watches you, like, piss your life away. But
yeah,
that's not what a good partner does.
Actually, and in the beginning, when that happened, our relationship started to suffer. We got into a huge fight, long distance, which is a huge fight already with you is something that brings me tremendous crunch and is not a good thing for me. And then on top of it being separated and far away, and I can't see your face and blah, 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 and all these things just makes it worse. And of course, how can anyone love me if I don't love me? It just makes total sense. And so
it's really tough to find someone who truly loves themselves, who is surrounded by haters and abusers. It doesn't really happen because when you love yourself, you set boundaries and you move away from those people, even if it means you'll be alone.
Yes. Even in the house, when I set those boundaries and I move away from those people, like in the house, they leave me alone. Like, things happen, the universe moves things for me, and people have to go to work, or people go to sleep, or people, go on dates or whatever. There's always, like, the more I do it, the more this happens. So thank you.
Yeah. If you can find me someone who really, truly loves themselves on a deep level and is also surrounded by haters and non-believers and people who don't love them as they are, I would love to see that. I'd love to meet them. That seems absurd, because if you really love yourself, you set boundaries, you move away, you don't mind being alone, you go attract your own tribe, and you quickly end up surrounded by people who love you.
Agreed. Totally agreed. Wow. This has been a very interesting and eye-opening episode. As per usual, you are super helpful.
If you really loved yourself, you would have stayed here.
I know.
But you let obligation or pressure or something call you away, push you away, and that's fine. I'm not trying to judge you or criticize or make you feel bad or anything. I'm just saying the people who truly love themselves manage to attract a match for that. People who love them too. When I didn't love myself, I didn't attract any supporters. I attracted betrayers, and I deserve it. Like, that makes total sense. That makes total sense from the universe, from nature. Until
if I left, then it would save me. You couldn't hurt me then. If I left you first.
Sure. I mean, some people live life thinking, like, if I hurt them first, they can't hurt me, or if I leave first, I can't be hurt or something. It's like, avoiding hurt is such a weird thing. Like, you think that's how you live a good life, avoiding hurt? No, you love deeper, you love more, you open up to hurt, you be vulnerable, and that's how you live a great life. Like, I don't know. This feels off topic. I'm just saying that when you really love yourself, you attract people who match quickly, because you set boundaries and you don't mind being alone, and you leave the people who are unloving. But if you don't love yourself, you will stick around with those unloving people, latch onto them, be afraid of being alone, and keep putting up with bullshit because you don't love yourself enough to step up and stand up. And so life will keep serving them up to you until you break that pattern. It's just sensible. Life is just like, well, this is how growth works. If you want to grow, you need to set some boundaries and start loving yourself. And if you don't want to grow, then just keep putting up with bullshit, I guess. It's like a choice everyone has to make someday.
True. Very, very true.
Right. And if you don't make it, or try to avoid it, or keep choosing by default, then you keep repeating the same patterns, because life's like, yo, I'm going to consciously step up and make this choice or not.
Yeah, you were right, though, what you said, that if I had loved myself enough, I wouldn't have left.
Of course not. Why would you? You found your tribe. It's obvious. Like, I broke my back 5.5 years investing in you, like showing love and supporting every little whim or dream you ever had. You breathe it out. I'm like, yeah, let's pivot the whole business every time. Like,
every time.
It's like, this is insane.
Even now.
This is insane amounts of love. And it's like, okay, I'm going to leave this and go back to some of the like lowest consciousness people around or something. And it's like, okay, I guess that's loving. I don't know. Like, only you know best. I don't judge. But I'm saying, if you're surrounded by haters or people who refuse to love you as you are, you might want to take a good hard look at your own self-love levels. How are you setting boundaries? Yeah.
I just think anytime you ask that of someone, whether directly to them or to yourself, because I've asked a million times, why can't you love me the way I am? And I know a lot of people want to point fingers and say it's your fault, you, because you're the guy, your fault.
Sure.
But if it was the opposite and you were the fat one and I was the skinny one.
If I wasn't ambitious.
Hold on. If you were the fat one, right? And I was skinny and in good shape, and I encouraged you to lose weight, and I bought food and I changed my diet and I did the things you've done for me, right? People would say, oh, you're so great and you're so encouraging and you're so loving. Oh, he's got such a great partner. Oh, he's so lucky. But no one ever freaking says it about you, right? Because, oh, he's supposed to love her as she is because she's fat. Yes, I understand. Like, for me, when guys are fat, it feels more, I don't know, it feels worse almost. But
that's why I said ambition. Like, if you use ambition, it's a better comparison because no woman wants to tolerate an unambitious man.
Right. But still, even if you were, because I left my ex-husband because one of the main things.
That's my point.
He was unambitious. And if you're unambitious, and I tell my friends, oh, I'm leaving him because he's unambitious and he doesn't want to do anything, they're going to be like, yeah, girl, go. If I get that bag, go find somebody better. But no one's going to say to you, not even your friend, I love you, dude. And you were there. You explained to him about me losing weight or whatever. And he didn't say, like, that's super supportive. I love you. Please know. I know you listen to the podcast. It's not like a bad thing. It's just for an example.
Well, he
stayed neutral, right? But he didn't say like, "Oh, that's so loving and that's so supportive," and what because it's not the same thing. For some weird reason, you're not allowed to encourage me and want me to lose weight, even if I want to. Even if my biggest dream in the entire world is to be skinny, and by skinny I mean my version of skinny, right? And you, as my partner and my husband and my lover, you support me in anything I do. But if I want to open a perfume shop tomorrow, then everyone in the world would say, oh, you're such a great partner. Look how you support her. That's not cool.
Mm.
Yeah. And I kind of went off on that because it really annoys me because I see it a lot on Reddit where the person will ask a question and then they mention like, oh, my partner wants me to lose weight. And the whole comment section loses their freaking mind, even though the whole rest of the thing is, you know, like it's a loving thing they're doing. It's not like he hates me. He says I'm fat. Anyway, the point is people want to pick and choose what it's okay to want to want other people to change. Right? And not love them the way they are. I'm so glad you don't love me the way I am. I mean, see, even me saying that, I feel like I have to put a disclaimer right afterwards, right after saying all that, and say, I know you love me, but you want me to be better version of me.
Yeah, like I said in the beginning, it's the same thing. If you love someone as they are, truly love them, then you're loving their potential and their purpose for growth. And you're expecting them to grow.
Yes.
When you love a plant, do you like watch it wither and dance around? Like, oh, go do your thing. Feel free to wither. By all means, I love you as you are, plant. Just wither. Or are you like, yo, I got to jump on this, man. I got to do something about this. Like, I got to help this little plant.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And if you love an animal and the animal's injured or depressed or lazy or sitting around, are you just like, well, I love that animal as it is. If it wants to be a depressed kitten, by all means, more power to you, kitten. Or are you like, no, I believe in your growth. I believe you can get back to happy. I can believe you can be up and about and then live a fulfilling life again. And I'm going to help however I can.
Yes. Yeah.
So when you say I love a plant, what are you automatically implying you're going to do with that plant?
I'm sorry, that it's going to grow. That
right. That you expect the plant to grow.
Yes.
Yes. And if you love an animal and it's sad and depressed or injured or something, what are you automatically implying when you say, I love this plant? I mean,
That
this animal.
you expect it to get better and get healthy and grow.
Damn right. I expect it to freaking heal and get back to itself, man.
Okay, then help me with this then,
Well,
because
And when you get to a human and you say, I love this human, what are you automatically implying?
that you want them to grow.
And you expect them to grow.
You expect them to
And if
grow.
they choose not to grow, if they self-sabotage, if they refuse to grow, if they plateau, what's going to happen to your love?
Then it's also going to plateau. It's also going to wither away and die.
As it should.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Well, then help me
It
with.
would be absurd if you still love them as they piss their life away and repeatedly self-sabotage and tried to go against every avenue of help. Like, you can't dedicate your whole life to a giant black hole who sucks in all energy and refuses to grow.
Facts. I did for 15 years and you can't keep doing that forever.
I'm saying it would be insane. It would be insane for someone to do this. Not even Jesus would do this. He's like, I got disciples to help. I got like missions to do. I can't, man. Like, if you're not going to grow, like, I keep trying to heal you, leper. And you're like, just catch leprosy again. It's like, even Jesus is out.
Yeah, it's true. That's very true.
Right. Because when you love someone or something, you are expecting it to blossom and prosper and thrive and get better and grow. And if it refuses to do that for a long enough amount of time, everybody breaks. And acting like someone should be Superman and be better than Jesus and not break, that's the crazy thing.
Yes, I agree. Okay, so then how can I say this then? Because if I say, you don't love me as I am, it sounds...
I do. I love you as you are, and I'm expecting you to grow. And I'm going to do everything I can to help you with that. And if you refuse or start self-sabotaging, there's only going to be a certain amount of time anyone can put up with that.
That's true. It's very true.
And that's how it should be. No one came to Earth to cater and simp before some giant black hole of self-sabotage who refuses to grow and keeps everybody around claiming they should love her as she is. Like, that is a messed up situation. And none of the 8 billion people on the planet should be catering to that person.
True. Okay. So then can you help me with it in conversation, right? Because I'm not going to say all that, right?
Sure, yeah.
So I'm having a conversation with someone and I say...
They say to you, why don't you love me as I am?
Right.
Right. And you say back, because you don't love you as you are. Someone who loves themselves is all about growth.
Yes. Yeah.
Those 2 sentences. That's it.
Okay.
Why don't you love me as I am?
Because but if I'm talking about you about me.
Yeah. So then, okay. So how come Jay doesn't love you as you are? Because I don't love me as I am. I self-sabotage and I didn't keep my word and I'm still fatter than I want to be. And he's right to not support that. I should be moving towards my dreams fast, not backsliding. And if that bothers him, it should. A good partner will push me to my dreams and nudge me to my dreams and not tolerate these kind of bullshit excuses and backslides. So if someone's like, why doesn't Jay love you as you are? You're like, because I don't love me as I am. I stopped growing and he can sense that.
Yeah.
And anyone who refuses to grow and self-sabotages is going to push people away, or they're going to get their partner in their face saying, hey, what happened to your diet?
Yeah, as they should.
Right.
As they should.
Right. So as I should. So why doesn't Jay love you as you are? Because he shouldn't.
Well, it'd be the same if you one day woke up and were like, I quit business.
Yeah, exactly.
Pardon me?
Tim Hortons for minimum wage. I'm done with this. And sorry, you'll have to change your whole lifestyle. Good luck. Like, why would anyone support this? I mean, if I made a strong case for it and it really was my dream, then maybe, right? But generally, this is just a terrible backslide and no partner should support it. And everyone gets it. Everyone understands, like, you're right. Like, you should be mad about that. Well, I should be mad if you backslide on your weight and your looks.
Yeah. And for some reason, the world doesn't want that to be okay. But it's okay if I leave you because you want to go work at Tim's instead of our business, right?
Sure, there's double standards everywhere. I don't really care. Like, they can hate on me all they want. Like, they're just embracing a double standard. Like, they're giant hypocrites because they don't love themselves and they tolerate bullshit from other people and they make excuses for their own backslides. And so they want to make excuses for your backslides and they don't want to see anyone like me calling people on their shit or holding them accountable to their own dreams because they don't want to be held accountable to their own dreams. So whatever, man, like, project as much as you want. Y'all miserable haters. Like, it doesn't matter. I don't care. Right. Like, it doesn't bother me, but their life suffers. Right. I'm out here hustling, like, active, alive, happy, thriving, blossoming, supporting, loving. and encouraging you towards your dreams. And they're here saying like, everyone just give up on all your dreams, man. Plateau and love yourself as you are. And that Jay guy, he's bad news. I don't know why he's pushing people. He's a mean guy or whatever. Like, I don't know. They can say whatever they want. Like, they suffer for it. They don't reach their dreams.
Well, for those who are listening or watching who wonder ever, why Sin always got to ask these hokey questions? It's because he's going to give me a fire answer like he just gave. There's another clip here for me. Like, this is a clip number 500 in this episode. Are you kidding me? Like, I just want to put it out there too, that I started this podcast super emotional before we even started filming about what I thought was another topic. But actually, during the conversation I had before we started filming, I have realized that this is still the same topic. So self-love, it goes way deeper than I realized. I had no idea this is where we were going with this episode. I asked one question and we zig-zagged and zugged over here. We made up a whole new one because Jay just took me over here where I didn't know I needed to be, but I'm so grateful. So I do want to skip a bunch of questions that I had, and I want to ask one, but before we do that, you really love yourself. You are incredible at this self-love. No, I don't mean it in like a rude way. You're so good at that. You're really, 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 really good at self-love and raising your energy and like really caring about yourself, right? And you want other people to love themselves so much that you wrote a book. It's called Eyes Wide Open Volume 1. And inside you'll see all the amazing ways that you can love yourself. We put them all in a book, 27 pages, the world's first self-help coffee table book. And it's yours for free. The PDF copy, go to eyeswideopenfree.com and get yours. And when you get your copy, you will also be signing up for our amazing and awesome newsletter. And Jay's about to go to Australia. So I know there's going to be some great emails coming very, very soon. And thanks, Jay, for loving me enough to write the book because you wrote it for me. Okay, so Jay, how does wanting to be loved for who we are as we are, how does this negatively or how does this affect our mental health and our business?
It's a good question.
Thank you.
Whenever you're trying to get something externally and it's in the hands or the control of others, you're already risking your mental health pretty hard.
All right.
That's like slamming your mental health on the table and saying, please don't destroy my mental health by making weird choices.
Okay.
To the people around you.
Right. Yeah.
Is that really what you want to do with your mental health?
No, I want to be in control of my mental health.
Sure. So you're in control of your internal resources, your internal landscape, your internal approach to life. You are not in control of other people's weird behavior. And trust me, there's a lot of humans out there with a lot of different perspectives and a lot of different reasons to do a lot of different things. And I don't care how close you are to them, they're going to do some weird behavior.
True.
So either your mental health is at the mercy of their weird behavior, out of your control, or your mental health is invincible, under your control.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
If you love yourself enough to take care of your mindset and your emotions and your attitude and practice and train and do the things required to become a master of your mental health, you're Michael Jordan up in this place, right? You're the Jordan of mindset now. You got total control over it. He doesn't care what the other players do. He's focused on him. He's focused on his craft. He's focused on how he performs. It's very centered on him. He feels in control. He feels confident. If a loss happens or he misses a shot, he gets back to the gym, trains more, whatever. He's on top of it. The man is unfazed by the play and performance of other players. External things don't matter. It could be a crappy asphalt court, street ball. It could be a professional court. He doesn't care. He's there to deliver. I'm sure it's very, very different to play on a street court than it is on a professional court, but he just adapts. So if you take care of your internal resources and you let other people do their weird behavior and you love yourself enough to take a stand and set boundaries or communicate diplomatically or say your piece or move on or whatever mental health saving things you have available to you, if you practice them, even if they're scary or hard or challenging, you are now in control and your mental health is safe and you are good. If Instead, you just meet a partner, meet a friend, meet a client, put your mental health out there on the line and hope they don't, trample on it or say something mean or judge you or whatever. Now you're just at the mercy of the other players, of the externals. You can't handle the street court. You can't handle the professional court. You can't handle that team. You can't handle this team. These people said this to you. These people said that to you. Your mental health's screwed. Like, you're just powerless. Like, you have very little control. You're at the mercy of external things and external people. That's your choice. Like, you can take either approach to life. Personally, I prefer to hone my craft, refine my skills, practice my mindset, train until I'm strong and powerful and capable and able to succeed no matter what external court or players I'm against.
Okay, that's excellent. That was really good. I have kind of a side question.
Sure.
I don't know if this goes with it or not, but would you recommend somebody who has a lot of mental health issues and who is an entrepreneur, would you recommend that they stop their business and fix all that stuff, like go ham the way that I did with the marketing stuff, like go ham and fix that stuff and then work on their business, or balance it in both ways?
Well, it's different for everybody. Would you recommend a single mom with 4 kids to ignore all those kids and stop doing mom stuff and just focus on her business?
No.
Until it's up and running and then get back to the kids?
No.
Okay, but what about a teenage boy who has summer off and just wants to make money? Can he focus on his biz?
Yes. Yeah.
So like,
I got you.
It depends. But the single mom can definitely succeed in business, and so can the teenage boy. They just have slightly different conditions and they have to handle it differently, balance it differently. Like, they're on different courts, they're playing against different players and different teams. So they have to handle it differently. But if they're on their Michael Jordan mindset training, they're going to handle it. Like, the teenage boy will have to turn down video games and turn down friends and focus on his business and really hustle or whatever. And the single mom will have different challenges. Like, she'll have to balance one thing and the other, and like have a call with a client and a baby on one arm, and she'll have to do her thing. And the teenage boy doesn't have to do that, but yeah, to do different challenges, like ignore parties and stuff. So it's whatever. Who cares? Like, as long as they both use their internal resources and navigate whatever life throws at them and focus on their goal and keep their mindset tight, then they're both going to succeed.
Okay. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Super helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this was an incredible episode.
Yeah.
Super emotional for me before, during, and probably after too. Probably going to cry after we hang up. So that's good. That's okay. It's a good cry. Do you have any final thoughts that you would like to share with our amazing audience, even though you have kind of laid yourself out there and put a ton of stuff out to them today? I feel like you might have 1 or 2 little gems in there that we didn't hit.
Basically, know that loving yourself as you are automatically assumes you will be growing and improving and reaching your dreams. No one expects someone who loves themselves as they are to stagnate, plateau, and move away from their dreams and backslide and piss away their life and self-sabotage. So it's one or the other, right? If you're going to say, I love myself as I am and I expect others to love me as I am, we better see growth. We all better see some growth, because that's what it means. That's what it means. That's what love means. That's what self-love means. Growth is in your soul, in your DNA, in your purpose. It's in every aspect of nature. There's no avoiding it. And as soon as you start trying to avoid it, you are basically dead already. You're a dead man walking. So that's one. If you love yourself, know that you are promising growth to the world. You will be growing, and let none of us catch you off of that. And 2, when you love yourself as you are, enough to set boundaries and move away on this giant ball of dirt we have. When you distance yourself emotionally, physically, mentally from the haters and from the people who don't love you as you are, it is a line in the sand. It is a bold choice. It's a message to the universe that says, I'd rather be alone than be around these unloving people who don't love me as I am. And when you do that, you make room and space for the universe to bring you people who do love you as you are. But it's scary, and you have to be okay with being alone, and it takes courage. And most people never do it. So it's really up to you which crowd you want to join. You want to step up and step out and join the crowd of people who find their tribe and are loved for who they are? You can, but take guts. Or if you want to join the average, the masses, the normies who put up with bullshit from unloving people because they don't love themselves enough to step away. So yeah, I don't know. That was the 2 main messages of the episode. I repeated it like 500 times. Hopefully it got through. I love you all. You got this.
And That's why our book and this podcast are called Eyes Wide Open. After today, you will know how to handle people who say they want to be loved as they are today, how to handle yourself if you think the same thing, and how that can affect your business relationships and your life. So now you can go to this video here called How to Beat Mean Self-Talk Using the Galaxy Method to help you continue your journey to love yourself and to know yourself better and be happy, and to help you keep your eyes wide open.
Keep rising.